Yeah, it's recording.
Recording. Okay. Hi, Kendra. How you feeling?
Hello, I'm doing well.
You're doing well? I know the last time that we met, we were kind of going over some information about your background and things like that, just kind of getting to know you a little bit more. Um, this is our first time that we'll really be able to kind of dive in and get to know each other a little bit more. Are you comfortable with that?
Yes, I think that's okay.
That's okay. Okay, good. And how has this week been? How's the previous week been since we last talked?
It's been going good. It's been a lot of adjustments that I've had to make since we last talked, but everything is going pretty well.
Pretty well. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of adjustments are you dealing with?
Things like I guess the new school and
Mm-hmm.
the family, getting used to them, just some of the differences there. And, I really haven't been able to talk to anybody in my family.
Mm.
Uh, so is, feeling a little bit isolated.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely can be isolating, especially to not be able to have a lot of communication with your family. That's really hard for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot to go through. Um, do you feel like you reached out to your family, or how come you haven't been able to talk to them?
Um, because of the circumstances, they said that I wasn't going to be able to talk to them for a couple weeks.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess, that's going to get worked out at some point, but I
Yeah.
just haven't had a chance to speak to them yet.
Okay. So it sounds like, there's hope that that will change in the future, but for right now, it sounds like you're struggling a little bit with all of the changes that are going on. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and some issues with the language barrier in the family. The new family is really nice and
Hmm.
everything like that, but just some cultural differences
Yeah,
there, and it's a lot different than the way I had the way that my family kind of runs. So it's a
absolutely.
challenge to kind of adapt to that.
Yeah, that's a big change, right? I'm sure that things even, things that seem as small as the food that you eat, right? And obviously the language that you speak at home, like that's a big change. To not be able to have that level of almost comfortability, like that familiarity that comes with that. It's
Mhm.
a big change.
Yeah.
And then as far as school, have you been made any friends or how are you getting along with your foster sister?
I kind of keep to myself. So, if people aren't really that outgoing, I kind of don't really connect with them a lot. I'm kind of a little more to myself. So, that's kind of a challenge. Like I haven't really made any real connections yet. It's not that the people aren't nice, it's just that, um, we haven't really clicked, I guess.
Yeah, that must be really hard for you.
Yeah.
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 Hmm. But as far as school goes, is there anything that you can do to try to be more a part of, to feel more part of instead of so much apart from?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of like clubs and stuff like that and everything, I guess I could kind of reach out in that way, and see what's available for me, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah. Is there anything at school that you would be interested in?
Um, yeah, I like drama club and stuff like that.
Drama club?
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I like that. I like movies and stuff. So maybe they
Okay.
have they have that. So I think maybe at some point I could try to go to one of the classes.
Absolutely.
It's after school.
After school? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great place for you to try to make some friends and, just kind of get more accustomed to a different school and put yourself out there a little bit.
Mhm.
Especially if it's in something that you enjoy doing that is fun for you, that, makes you happy, right? We want to look for things that bring us a little bit of joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then aside from school, I know it's hard getting adjusted at home and things like that. How are your foster parents? Do you feel like you have a good relationship so far with them?
They've been really good with me.
Yeah.
And they're very kind people, and it seems like they, they want to put themselves out there to be helpful to me.
Mhm.
Just with the circumstances there, it's a little tough just to get adjusted to a new family when I still miss my family.
Absolutely. And just because you're reaching out and getting used to them, doesn't mean that you automatically stop missing your family, right? Like that's a huge part of your life and who you are. So it's okay to still miss them, right? It's okay to still feel like you're missing something from your life, right? But remember that your family is always going to be your family. And even though this situation might be temporary and you might be struggling, it doesn't have to be forever, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so I just want to ask you some questions, right? And they might be a little bit sensitive. They might be a little bit hard to answer. Um, so are you okay with opening up and being a little bit vulnerable with me?
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Thank you. Um, so in terms of, your mood seems pretty good. You don't seem, um, you seem a little bit down, but not, um, in comparison to last week, a little bit more down. But so I just wanted to ask you, have you ever had any sort of feelings of suicidal ideation or any sort of history of self-harm or any sort of homicidal ideation, anything like that that you've ever struggled with?
Um, I don't know really about self-harm, but I kind of have these thoughts sometimes of like fleeting thoughts. They come and go, but like just when everything is very difficult and very hard, I just it's like maybe if I just went to sleep and didn't wake up, like I'd rather do that than kind of keep going on because stuff has just gotten to be so hard to deal with, I guess.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's completely valid. I understand. Have you ever had any, or are you currently having any thoughts like that, or are those just things that you've thought in the past?
No, it's not something that I think about all the time. It's just I've had these thoughts a couple times. It's
Okay.
not something that happens all. I don't think about that all the time.
Hmm.
It's kind of come and gone.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing that with me. Have you ever had any sort of plan or intention to hurt yourself, or has it always been passing?
No, I never planned on doing anything. It was just kind of the thoughts were in my head.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you so much. And being vulnerable is a really important skill. And it's very hard to do that and to open up and to be honest and share honestly with where you're at and what you're feeling. So I really appreciate you doing that. That means a lot. Hmm.
Thank you.
Of course. And then so just in terms of, before our next meeting next week, what are some things that you're looking forward to this week or some things that you can plan to try and have a better week next week? Any goals
Um,
that you want to set or anything that you're
I,
looking
I
forward
wanna
to?
I wanna see if maybe I can get in contact with my siblings this week just to see how they're
Mhm.
doing. If I can kind of get that information and like we talked about before, maybe going to I think they do it in the middle of the week, doing drama club at school,
Oh, yeah,
attending that.
absolutely. I think those are great goals. And I think that the social aspect of that, right? Being part of the drama club and being part of any sort of group that you can to help you not feel so alone, right? Like to work through that stuff and to feel like you have a support network of people who can help you, even if they're not telling you, even if you're not sharing all of the details of your life, right? Like just having that support, having another person to go through life with. That's super important. So I think that's a great place to start.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of resources in your community. Don't forget. There's a group online, especially called the Glow Group, and it's especially geared for teenage girls who are struggling with feelings of separation and feelings of just being a teenage girl. Right? It's super hard to be young, to be in your age group, and especially to be going through some really adult challenges that you're faced with. So I think that taking advantage of some online groups might be helpful for support resources. And at your school too, there's lots of support that you can get from school counselors and school psychologists. I know it's really hard to ask for help sometimes, but remember that those things do exist and you can take advantage of those.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay, great. And remember, you always have skills that you can use, right? You can breathe, you can
Sorry,
step away.
sorry, you froze for a second. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I froze. Am I back or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're back.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, I was just gonna say, just remember that you always have skills that you can use, right? You can breathe, you can take 10 minutes, 10 seconds, whatever you need to step away. You can remove yourself from a really challenging situation so that you can come back and be a little bit better, right? You can always phone a friend and ask for help, and there's all of these things that you can take advantage of that can really help you through this really struggling part of life.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that.
All
Yeah.
right, Kendra. It's been great talking to you, and we will see you next week, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thanks.